Hey, before we dive in, a quick heads up. This series is called Validating the BPD Life, and that's exactly what it's here to do. Validate the experience of living with borderline personality disorder, hopefully making you feel a little less alone. That said, if you don't have BPD, there's still value here, especially if you've loved or currently love someone who does. But fair warning, we'll be talking about some heavy stuff. Self-harm, self-destructive behavior, hospitalizations, and a lot of emotional pain. You might feel grief, guilt, anger, rage, shame, or confusion while watching. And if you do, that makes sense. Don't judge yourself for feeling anything. Don't shame yourself for being triggered. Emotions show up for a reason, even if you don't know that reason right away. If it helps, try saying, "It makes sense I'd feel this way after everything I've been through." And if you've ever been hospitalized or felt like you were losing your mind, I wrote a book about my own experience at a psych ward, and you can grab it at the link right here. Or here. To be honest, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, so I'm just going to say grab it. It supports the work I do and might help you feel a little less lonely on this journey. All right, without further delay and nothing more to say, buckle up, Buttercup. It is time to walk the middle path towards common humanity and a wise mind. I didn't just love my friends. I wanted to become them and then kill them. I know, it's a hell of a line. But for a long time, that's what love felt like. Not just closeness, but total fusion. Even after I had gathered DBT skills, even with so much insight and practice under my belt, this was still a wound I hadn't fully tended to. The urge to merge, to show love by overfunctioning, by anticipating needs, by being endlessly available, was still wired into my nervous system. I had learned how to notice it, I had language for it, and I hadn't yet been forced to face the cost. There were two people in my life, friends I deeply cared about, who I had over time done this exact thing with. I had become so preoccupied with maintaining the connection that I slowly began neglecting myself. I was often reading the room instead of participating in it, reading their moods instead of checking in with my own. When the friendship eventually fractured, suddenly, painfully, and without real closure, it gutted me. And even though I knew about splitting, even though I'd done so much work, I still spiraled a little. Because here's the thing, I didn't split on them. I don't believe they're bad people. Even now, I still think they're thoughtful, creative, funny, and loving. I also believe they made decisions that harmed me and my partner, and the ghosting triggered every old wound I had. Because I wasn't just mourning the friendships, I was questioning my whole self. Was I too much? Was I secretly unstable this whole time? Were they just tolerating me for 3 years and I didn't know? Those were the thoughts that showed up, and they did not show up quietly. The worst part was that people around us didn't see the rupture for what it was. Because I'd spent so long over-functioning, it didn't make sense to them that I could be on the receiving end of harm like that. And that made me question my own reality. I had the DBT skills to regulate and reflect, and I still had to sit in the raw, lonely experience of being misunderstood and erased. I had to use everything I had, wise mind, radical acceptance, distress tolerance, not just to survive the grief, but to stay in integrity. Not to retaliate, not to collapse. Simply to grieve, feel, process, and release. Looking back, I see how hard I was still trying to earn love through usefulness. How often I confused loyalty with self-erasure. How even though I wasn't in active "please don't abandon me" mode, I was still functioning from the fear that if I wasn't indispensable, I'd be discarded. However, relationships built on panic are not sustainable, and love that's performed rather than shared eventually burns out. I wasn't new to DBT when this happened. I was new to letting go of people I deeply love without making it my fault. I was new to holding grief without spiraling into shame. I was new to believing that people can hurt you and still not be monsters, and you can be hurt and still not be broken. This time, I let the pain be what it was. I practiced gentle, interested, validation, easy manner, the give skill, not just with them, but with myself. I let myself grieve. I let myself rage. And then, I let myself rest. If you're someone who's overfunctioned your way into exhaustion, if you've been ghosted or quietly pushed out of a group you once centered your life around, if you've had people not believe your side because your pain didn't fit their narrative, here is what I want you to hear. You are not unstable. You are not too much. You are a human being with deep needs and a powerful capacity for connection. You've likely spent years trying to earn love in ways that cost you yourself. And if you're watching or listening to this, you're already doing the work to change that. These are the growing pains of healing. The grief of showing up fully and being misunderstood. The ache of letting go without making yourself the villain. It does not mean you've failed. It means you're becoming free. You deserve friendships where you're safe to be real. You deserve love that sees you as whole, not just helpful. You deserve a life that doesn't require constant overfunctioning to be worth living. You are not alone. You are on your way. And damn, I'm so proud of you.